Question C there, we are told that the ultimate goal for private equity investments is to improve new or underperforming businesses and exit them at high valuations. However, the time to exit can range from less than 6 months to over 10 years. You're required, in relation to the above statement, examine 3 exit strategies pursued by private equity portfolio managers. So we are saying that we first of all need to understand private equity, and I'll be very brief about private equity because there are some videos which I've actually done which tackle on private equity incisively. So we just give a synopsis right there. Here we are saying we have this kind of structure like that, where we have investors, then here we have the PE firm, and then we have over here the portfolio of companies like that. So investors pump money into the private equity firm so they invest in the private equity firm so that they can be able to set up a governance structure. Over there they have the board of directors, they have the senior staff, they have now the mid-level managers, and also the operational, or what we call the functional management team down there, so that now those are deemed to be the experts in trying to identify venture capital investments as well as buyout investments there. So they invest in portfolio of companies. In return, they get ownership, and in return, you get partnership interest, or what you're saying, ownership, like that. So these investors are what we call the limited partners, and the private equity fund is the general partner. What happens is that the deal is, once the portfolio of companies generate some revenue, what happens is that the general partners are the ones who are going to be compensated first before the limited partners are compensated there. So that's what happens right there. And once that arrangement is agreed, of course, in terms of the term sheet, then there'll be no problem in terms of how to the distribution, what we call distribution waterfall, and we will not be able to have a problem. Of course, there'll be some form of percentages that have been agreed upon at that level. So having looked at that, we are concentrating at this part right here. How do the firms, what are the options that the private equity firm has towards exiting these investments there? That's what we're asking. They're asking about the three. They're asking about 3 exit strategies. The first exit strategy is what we're saying is an IPO, or the initial public offering, where we are saying that the shares of this portfolio of companies can be floated through an exchange, so that now we have outside investors right over here having ownership over there, and that bond dissociates or breaks down like that. Now, because this company is now owned by these investors, now that bond dissociates, and the monies or the proceeds come to the private equity firm like that. That is the first option right over there. The second option we have that is available is the management buyout. In a management buyout, what happens is that, let's assume now we're using this second rectangle right there to try and demonstrate how an MBO works. If the management team have got wind that this company is being sold off, they can be able to decide, they can be able to form another company over here called X company, like that. And this X company, what it does is that they could seek borrowing from a commercial bank, CB, like that, and then they provide the financing to this firm, which is constituted or is comprised of the management team of the private equity firm, like that. And then now they invest. Now they provide monies that go to the private equity firm in exchange for getting a controlling stake in that firm right down there. So and that bond dissociates, and the bond remains now with the company like that there. The third way of how private equity firms exit is through liquidation. is through liquidation, and you're saying liquidation means that if the private equity firm finds that the business, the company that they had invested in is not doing very well, what they can be able to do is that they can be able to liquidate the assets, and then once they liquidate the assets like that, then whatever they will remain with, they can be able, what we can call a residual, can be now used or to now invest in other profitable ventures or to provide an additional source of financing to these other portfolio of companies like that. So liquidation is, we are saying, is just liquidating the assets like that. Since we've looked at three, there are usually four of them that are used within the private equity airspace. So the fourth one right over here is secondary sale. Secondary sale. And in a secondary sale, what happens is that if this company is dealing with, say, or this portfolio of company has got a special focus towards glass or maybe we say bottle manufacturing, what the private equity firm can do is that it can be able to approach another bottling firm so that it can be able to make a proposition to them and tell them that, you know, we are selling this bottle bottling company arm that we have, we can be able to sell it to you at this price. So they agree. This bottling company that has got a bond with the private equity firm can agree separately that this company will be owned by this company. That means that this company has to pay a fee to the private equity firm so that it can be able to acquire this other bottling company. The reason for secondary sale is for perceived synergies to be realized by both the firms there. So we are saying 1 + 1 should be equal to 5, not 2. Yes, synergy. The companies, the combined effect of two companies which are skilled in different areas should be able to produce some larger outcome right there. So that is what you're saying is synergy. Those are the exit options that private equity companies have in order to dissociate itself or sell the company, or dissociate itself, yes, from having a bond with itself like that. And that is what the question or the examiner wanted us to look at right there.